Test, check, check. Test, check. Final. Test, check. Hmm. Uh-oh. Oh, whoops. Okay, well, show's about to start and the music just cuts. So now all you got is my background voice. Oh, crap. Um,
Booking.com has all kinds of stays because a city hotel is right for some. But
I'm not doing advertisements. Alright. I think I'm back. Actually, hi. Hold on. Wow. I haven't heard that intro in a while. So, I'm here. I'm back. I'm discussing. So, talking about Mandalorian and Grogu, which saw it yesterday. Hold on. I think I got background. It is. I think the volume level is fine. That's what I did that for. That's what that was for. I have a vertical canvas set. For some reason, it does not want me to multi-stream anything or whatever. Oh well. So, I'm here to discuss my thoughts on the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Saw it yesterday, opening day, daughter, 3:30 in the afternoon. I had a reaction, and maybe it'd be best if I got background information on myself on why maybe you should listen to me. I've been a Star Wars fan since as long as I can remember, since probably like 96, so I would be 3 if anything. And that was started with watching my dad's old VHS tapes, the silver one. He had both. He had the widescreen and the other ones, the VHS of Star Wars. He kept the other ones separately. I just remember you couldn't touch, I think, the other ones. Yeah, like, because he had the original first VHS releases, 1, 2, 3. Then he got the box set. Then he got the other box set. Anyway, I just remember earliest experience of Star Wars with my dad was him taking me out. He doesn't like it because he thinks I've taken that as a as my own thing. As in by own thing, I mean like I did that with my daughter yesterday. I took her out of class 2 hours early just to go see the movie yesterday, and I understand a bit why he did not feel probably great about that, because I think what I'm feeling is probably the way he maybe have felt with episode 1 when he did that with me in 99. So I was 6. If it was 99, I think I might have been 5 actually. I'm 32 right now. So sorry, I'm a late year birthday, so that's just something I gotta deal with. But this movie, I came into it with low expectations, and my low expectations were met, which is not a bad thing. It sounds bad. It sounds very bad. Oh, I just realized that. Not glowing. Oh, it's not like that's too important right now. But yeah, the movie, you can see online the backlash of the movie, with it being like, oh, this is what Kathleen Kennedy's last film that she's really taking part in. I really hope that is the story, because this does seem like it had a hand in it. Whether or not be like, see, I took back my hand, just don't touch my finger, kind of whatever. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I went in with low expectations. That was my gist. I tried not to read anything like negative, be like, oh, here are the early reviews and whatnot. No, I did not pay attention to those. I went in for myself. I'm a big Star Wars fan. My basement's all covered with Star Wars stuff. It almost got me bad. It almost got me bad with the popcorn bucket. It was the AT-AT popcorn bucket. $80. Fuck that. I was prepared to drop the fucking dime, but yeah, it didn't go, because I didn't. Well, first of all, it would have probably ruined my choices. So always, if you are spend responsibly. That, if anything, would be a collectible, but it would be a cheaper collectible, I think, in my opinion. Anyway, besides the point, part of me didn't want to get it. I love my AT-ATs. I love them. Like, if I could get like that giant one, that like, I don't know, 5,000 piece one, put it on my freaking entertainment center right here, I would love it. I currently have the biggest, I think the biggest TIE Interceptor right behind my monitor there. Haven't put it together. Anyway, I am a big Star Wars fan. I did not leave when The Last Jedi bomb, or I can't say bomb. I think it should have failed. I think The Last Jedi should have failed. However, okay, the Last Jedi, I did not like. It's just simple as that. See if I can adjust that so I'm not so loud. Or maybe I need to turn this up. Let's do that. Sorry. I want you to make sure you can hear me properly. So, but the Last Jedi, I have my issues with it. It's exactly what it is. It has issues. It's not perfect. It's not bad. Okay, I see. Let's go. Test. Nope. Test. I'm test. Okay. Test. I'm not great at this thing, okay? I don't know. Okay, great. This was a video, I cut that part out. But this is just me doing it. This is just me talking. So sorry if you are rewatching this or something, or whatever. But The Mandalorian and Grogu, my expectations were low, because the way I went into this has Rada in it. The whole thing with it is that I treat it like the Clone Wars movie. It's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. The Clone Wars movie led into the Clone Wars, which rocky start. It really was, but then it turned into something great. I feel like we're getting the opposite effect on this with the Mandalorian. Okay, we got ourselves. On the other hand, so we have ourselves our incline with the Clone Wars movie. Start point here. Clone Wars, your main everything Star Wars that you probably would love about it. Then we have Mando season 1. I feel like we're heading in that direction if, and here's the only reason why I say if, Kathleen Kennedy was still involved, in my opinion. Okay? However, I will say Dave Filoni did not inspire confidence in this movie because it felt like some parts of this movie would be better off played as animation. Okay? That's my opinion. Okay? There are moments in this movie that probably would be better as animation. I don't know how else to say this, but it starts off with, if you okay, so background on what I've seen is that I've seen the trailer, the first trailer. I think I've seen the second trailer, and I saw the Disney Plus preview with my daughter, and that was more or less it. I think I've seen a couple other videos talking about it. Maybe The Critical Drinker. I think I only watched half of it. I'm like, okay, I shouldn't be watching this for the reason of keeping my own expectations as a Star Wars person open. Okay? Do I think that's do I think I was influenced by things outside? Yes. If, like anybody on the internet, you are influenced by something outside. I, however, with this Star Wars episode, or Star Wars Mandalorian, I understand what they were trying to do with the first scene of setting up of where these two were, but we haven't seen them since season 3, and if you haven't seen them since season 3, that's a long time. If you haven't watched it since then, and you're like, okay, coming into it, that's probably what I think Disney was probably expecting with this movie. It was like, people haven't seen it. This has been a long time since we've had a Star Wars movie. We haven't seen these characters in a while. I think the closest to that time frame we've gotten was Ahsoka. So, well, technically it would be the Skeleton Crew. But even so, like, that doesn't really have a crossover point, in my opinion. I don't think. I mean, I might. I mean, I guess there is the pirate. What's his name? I know who he is. The pirate who he jumps ship from Greenbeard from the Mandalorian season 3 to the Skeleton Crew. So he jumped ship from there. There's your crossover. However, he's not a Weequay. Or is he a Weequay? I think he's a Weequay. I don't know. He's a pirate. He's not a Weequay. But either way, I feel like there were things going against this movie that would have helped. I think it's like because I felt like the stories in the seasons were bigger, or they are bigger, and they are, and like it makes sense. They have longer run times. They have a longer story. They have a whole season to go through. Whereas a movie, you're just jumping from point to point to point. And I don't know. Let's put it this way. Me and my daughter just got done watching the Mandalorian and Grogu movie yesterday. We just got done watching Mandalorian season 3 this last weekend, and this last weekend on last Friday. And so we've gone through this just recently. I was making sure hey, we gotta get through this so we can get you up to date where we are in the show. This was, my daughter put it very well like this. I asked her, do you think it would have helped that to know what happened in the show or anything with the show to lead into this? And she said, that's granted, that's not saying anything. She's put her hand to the side and wiggled it. Anyway, that's awful. You are in perfect middle ground when it comes down to capturing your audience. That is not capturing your audience. That is isolating your audience. Why? Because nobody's happy. You have people who love The Mandalorian, Die Hard, sure. Oh, it's just, you have them Die Hard fans of playing it safe, or not playing it safe, but being like, do what you know, do what we can. And then you have the people that say try something new and all that. You have that fan base going against one another, which is basically the Rian Johnson, The Last Jedi people versus OGs, I guess, if you will. And why am I putting it like that? Because that was a new movie. It was the newest movie of all of them. You call the other ones OGs because they were first. Either way, I'm caught into crosshairs of this. This is middle ground. I'm not happy with the movie. I'm not happy with the movie. I would say, honestly, I would give it a 6 out of 10. That's my final verdict. I'm just gonna say that. My thoughts on the movie, again, I've been saying this for a bit now, but Grogu I think was the best part of this movie, whereas you have other elements of this movie which seemed pushed in. I don't know, what am I trying to say? Pushed in. Zeb, I think, could have done more. I think he did do more. I'm just trying to think, but there wasn't more Zeb. I mean, like, character. Like, Zeb was not, he was in it, but the Zeb, like, I know you see his personality in the Clone Wars. You know who he is. You saw it in the trailer. I like this kid. Sure. That's fine. You could like the kid. By the way, not who you think he's referencing. Still, you don't get enough of what I think people wanted from Zeb. What I wanted from Zeb. I was excited to see Zeb. I was excited to see Zeb in Mandalorian season 3, I think. Or was it? Is it season 3 or Boba Fett? They mix. But we have that. We sorry, give me this. I'm losing my train of thought on that. If you want to leave a comment, let me remind me of what I just was saying. Zeb, I wanted more of. There was not enough character of Zeb. You know who he is. You think you get here like something like, okay, Zeb's in. He's a rebel. He's part of the New Republic. And the best line to describe it, and the best line of the movie for probably who Zeb is, I think was, I can't even say it. It's at the end of the movie, but it's that scene with him and the other person going into the into the New Republic tent, whatever. I thought that was okay. Yeah, that's your reference. Yes, that is your reference, but that's your area, okay? But the only other line that really showcased Zeb, and I'm being picky on Zeb right now, is that line I said earlier. I like this kid. Otherwise, Zeb is there. The ship is just there. It feels like, oh crap, things didn't go as planned in season 3. We need to do something to kind of bring, like, okay, or how are we going to fit Rada on this thing? We have a small ship. And then they were like, oh, let's fix it with an N1. Well, crap, we can't really do much with that. How are we going to... He's a bounty hunter. How can we catch bounties on an N1? I don't know what the plan is with that, but it was a nostalgia move. I don't know who approved the N1. It's cool. Maybe Grogu, when he grows up, is it the plan? Like, this is his ship. Maybe. But still, you brought back the ship. It really felt like a Rise of Skywalker moment with, oh, R2's got C-3PO's backup. Okay? It's really at the beginning of the movie. It really is. There's a reason why in the preview on Disney Plus it has Zeb picking him up in a U-wing. Oh yeah, because you can't exactly make a quick escape on the N1 unless you're right there and blah blah. We've seen and probably because we've seen it in Mandalorian season 3 when Grogu has to go to Bo-Katan and rescue Din. Okay, the best character in this whole movie was Grogu. Grogu had the most character development. Yeah, I understand we know these other characters, but we are in a movie for these characters too. Like, it infuriates me. Like, and don't get me wrong, I love the fact that Grogu showed progression from what you've seen from the show to where he is now. That is awesome. That is your Ahsoka moment, if you will. That is your moment from bratty teenager Ahsoka to your unaligned Force user Ahsoka. Okay? Give me that. Grogu has done that in this movie. I think the character development there is there. Whether you think it's good or not, I can't tell you. I'm not going to say it for you, okay? The character is there. You have the elements. You have IG-11 or IG-12, depending on which one you want to say, helping raise Grogu. You have Din raising Grogu. You have the Mandalorians raising Grogu. Granted, it doesn't seem like that way after season 3. They're just laying low. New Republic. Technically, Din is still showing them. That's what it really was about. And I really thought something controversial might have happened. Like, something with consequences. If not for the galaxy, for Grogu. Okay? In some version or fashion, I thought there would be something that really would hit Grogu hard. Because it seemed like that's what this movie was kind of trying to focus on. More so than anything Din. There's a good moment where Din, you see in the trailer, Din gets his helmet off and he's like, well, now I have to kill you all. And what happens? Eventually does. I'm not going to say how. I thought it'd be more badass or something right off the bat. Something. We do get a classic callback. You know, I love me the prong rifle. I don't know what it's called actually. But it's the one with the fork on the end. The original Boba Fett from the animated thing from 1970s. The one that showed up in season 1. Ooh, blast Jawa and disintegrate. Disintegrating rifle, if you recall. And you know what's funny? I am actually kind of I think I put some piece together on a little bit of Star Wars lore. Either I'm wrong or I'm right, but I'm going to put it together. Okay? This is going to be a little sidetrack. Mandalorian Season 1. We have Din using that disintegration rifle to try taking out the ATST. Okay? What ends up happening is Cara Dune ends up taking it and shooting the pilot, I think. And that's how he goes, I think. I could be wrong. In this, Din has a disintegrating rifle and fires on a mechanical creature. Okay? And it actually disintegrates it, like rips it, like laser cannon, like self half gone kind of thing. Like, holy crap. That's what I was expecting for Imperial armor to do. Like in that one season, or in that one episode with the ATST, the pirate ATST. So, however, big picture now. Did the Empire ever improve their armor above the rest of, the galaxy, if you will? I think that with the Zillo Beast, I think that did happen. Hence why armor is too strong for blasters, blah blah blah, and hence why when the Hutts have their mechanical creatures, when they shoot it's not as hard as an armor. Okay, so there's that. So that's me putting that together. It was like, oh, Hutts don't have as good armor as the ATST, AT-AT armors, I'm assuming. It's like, that's what I put together there. But then there's also the whole, okay, so ATST armor, and then you have Beskar, that's another armor, and then you have whatever metal is put together by the Hutts, and it seems like that's the worst metal. It's like copper on steel, if you will. Chewed up. If you don't know, softer material. Okay, it's if you know how to strip a bolt, same thing. But what else is there to discuss about this movie? Like I said Zeb I didn't get enough of. Grogu was the star, and I think it was rightfully earned. Okay, Din lacking. I will say that much. Din Djarin, I think, was definitely lacking in this movie. I feel like he could have been more badass. And you know what? I'm right. Okay? It's been going this way. It's like, it is going that way. And maybe stuff. There are badass moments in this, okay? But it's like, okay, last second badass moment. Okay, we saw it in the trailer or the preview, depending on what you saw. But then take that in consideration to your introduction to Mando in episode 1 of season 1. Okay? Explain to me this one, where Mando literally chops a guy in half by the door because he's in his way. The closest brutal thing we have to that, I think, is in season 1 of Book of Boba Fett, which isn't even his show, where he comes in, cuts off the guy's head, or takes out a whole group of guys with the Darksaber. Okay, there's that. Okay, I think that's exactly how you need to portray Mando. But the problem is that Mando is in a, I don't know. You have the kids who like Grogu. You have Mando, who's, if you need to use him like a Mandalorian. Brutal, hard. And it's basically what I expect a Mandalorian is like what I would expect, like what you expect from a Spartan. Like, I'm not saying you have to be all men and you have to kill your babies or anything like that, because the weak don't survive. No, I'm expecting the toughness, the discipline, all that, the brutality to win, especially in a galaxy where all costs matter. Okay? Because one day you're here, one day you're next, whatever, someone shoots you in the back, it's a big galaxy out there. Making that's a play on Jango Fett. Like, I'm just a simple man making his way through the galaxy. Simple. It's everybody's got their own thing. It's the same way with life, everything like that. Okay. Din in this movie. I'm sorry, that was a big tangent. Din in this movie, I think if he had at least one shot of disintegration on the hut, at least one, and then something, would have probably, I think, done this movie a little more better. I think doing something like that would have, because it'd be like, oh, he's really upset by this. Because the problem with the Mandalorian, you got the mask, you have your body actions to show your feelings. That's what you have to do in this. I didn't get a lot of that in this. You know where I got my emotion from? I got it from Grogu. Why? Because got a little slight spoiler. Din is out for a portion of this movie. Now, I'm not saying like he's out for like half the movie. No, he's just out. Like he's just, you do it. There's another thing going on. You do your thing. Like Grogu's doing his thing for Grogu's sake. Okay. I'm not going to spoil it because if you listen to what I just said and you watch the movie, you'd think that's a terrible description. Which, good. I don't want to spoil it for you. The Din, I like it when Din teaches Grogu things because it gives you a better bond, I think. And it's hard to say because everybody kept on treating Grogu like a pet food, which, to be fair, is what a lot of things you like. Yes, this is Star Wars. That's what you expect. Yeah, like a Hutt would definitely eat anybody if they could. They're lazy, they're fat, they're a slug, all that. They don't care. They're Hutts. Din, I think, needed to show in this movie because at the end of season 3, Din officially adopts Grogu as his son. So we have Din Djarin and Din Grogu. Okay? I feel like we needed more bonding, if you will, where I'm not a movie maker. I didn't make it. Can I suggest on how to do it? It might not be the best suggestion because I'm not a movie maker. But then again, I'm discussing about a movie that I can't say I would save the series, okay? Or save everything. I think it's just another... Well, we have the IP still. I wish there was more Empire stuff, because the first scene, I feel bad now for watching that. I'm listening to myself. Okay, I feel bad now after listening to myself and saying like, yeah, I've watched the preview on Disney Plus. I feel bad now for watching that because if you wanted to see more of an Empire spiel of what's going on there, you're not gonna get it. You just cannot. You're not gonna get it. It's essentially what you heard at the end of season 3. Oh, we're hunting down ex-Imperials. Just either bring them in cold, bring them alive, blah, blah, blah. It helps if you bring them in alive, blah, blah. I don't know, maybe I've seen too many movies. I don't know. It's my brain's not as young, and that's maybe why, but I'm still watching Star Wars. So what does that make me? Pathetic? No. And if you think it is, that's not what I think, so that's what matters. But I like seeing, as I've said it before, AT-AT is my favorite Star Wars vehicle. The elephant, if I could, I would love to do just love to see the animation process. Probably watch a short film on it after this now. Thanks for that, me. On how the animation of the AT-ATs work. Great. But either way, I'm just trying to say that if you know my channel symbol, the one I use, if you're the one right here, yeah, I drew it trying to draw the rebellion symbol, and I wanted to give it my own spiel. I gave it a mix of between Empire and Rebel. Excuse me. I give it my own mix. And here's the thing, it never originally looked like this, like with the lines or anything like that, the points. It was just the outline of the big black outlines of arrow, that side, this going around, and then this point. Okay? I don't know if you heard that. But either way, I drew that because I remember thinking about drawing the rebellion symbol starting off, hence the roundedness of it, of like the phoenix, okay? But then I added my own taste, which I like the Empire kind of stuff, so I wanted to give it that dark feel. So like Dark Phoenix. I'm not going to say like, oh, red, orange, red, blah, blah. Not trying to make it an X-Men reference. But that's more like what I wanted, or maybe that's not what I wanted, but because this was way back in 2010, way back before I even knew about the New Republic books or anything like that. So yeah, oh wait, no, I was 2012. So even so, but even so, I like my Empire. I want to see. Okay, so if you will, the Clone Wars, both sides, Palpatine playing both sides. You want to know where I am? I'm Palpatine, and I want to see the Rebels and Empire both sides. That's where I'm at. I'm Palpatine, and I wish to see both sides go. But at that point in the Galactic Civil War, it's Palpatine versus Rebels, Mothra, blah, blah, blah. You know, the whole spiel. You know the Imperial Remnant is on the back foot. And let's put it this way. If you've seen Ahsoka season, or if you've seen Ahsoka, the show, there's a big thing at the end of that, which, if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, Thrawn returns back to the main galaxy. Okay. But now with that, you have Thrawn back in the main galaxy. You think that there would be maybe something with it. I didn't stay for any post credits. I gotta say this. Because I just popped in my head now because I missed it too. There's literally one scene in this movie that literally takes me out of it. Like, it takes me completely out of the movie. It's very like outlandish. It's right after a speeder chase sequence where they're being chased. You know, not super far behind, but enough to get some shots off. Okay, you're being chased back to your ship. You get there, you get off, you go into the ship. You'd think the other people would be like right there, be like, okay, we're not gonna just ram ya or something. I don't know. Maybe this is just movie magic, but it made no sense for me. Of like, oh, they have to start up the ship. They gotta hold them off, kind of thing. That's what I was expecting. Not, oh, these are stormtroopers that are going to just ram the ship. And by ram the ship, I mean go into the ship with a speeder. Like, I didn't think. Well, first of all, it's like cops chasing people in a getaway vehicle, and we're using cops loosely here because we're talking about stormtroopers, okay? But it's like cops using chasing a suspect on like, say, a scooter or something, an electric scooter. And they're on, I don't know, a four-wheeler, okay? Just go with it, okay? This is the story. They get off, get into a box truck. You have to get it started, and the cop on the four-wheeler just rides up into the back of the box truck where all the other friends are. It threw me off. I'm like, oh, like five, like maybe I think it was the timing of it being like, oh, like 10 seconds have passed and the guys haven't shown up yet, and then when they do show up, they're like, let's ram it. I don't know. Maybe that's the issue I'm dealing with, or I'm thinking of. So. Sorry, that was a big tangent. I had to go on that tangent. It popped in my head. It threw me out of the movie. I can't say that I've had a Star Wars movie throw me out of a movie. Like, throw my mindset. Like, most of the time, I'm stuck in the movie. Like, I'm being entertained by it. But when that happened, it threw me off. I was like, I literally moved forward. I was like, what? That happened? I don't know if that's not a good thing in my opinion. Okay, not a good thing. Besides that, hold on, give me a sec. It's not a good thing. Okay, I wanted this movie to maybe have a little bit more. I thought this movie would be a setup for something. It felt like another season, but not as well planned. I thought this was like, okay, here's just a side story. In all honesty, you want to know why this movie is the way it's doing? It's because of Disney Plus, the streaming on everything. I'm gonna rant now. I'm gonna go rant. Okay, rant time. This movie is not going to do well for the main reasons I'm about to bring up. The damn freaking streaming services are killing it. Okay? This is a movie, if we had normal cable or whatever, or just regular TV, this would be one of those movies like, oh, Disney DX. Let's just go with that, because that, I think people can understand that a little bit. I don't know. I'm 32. I'm older. I'm thinking of ABC 12 and their Saturday night movies, whereas my daughters are older and blah blah blah. DX, whatever. Getting to the damn point, streaming has taken away the market of watch what you are provided content. Okay? That is the whole reason why those kinds of things are dying. I want to say Sling TV might be there. Like, you have TV shows, unless it's like live TV, I don't think it's going to be as popular as it once was, for that reason. Because now you don't get the people who are like, oh, let's just see what's on or whatnot. You might still get those, but they're not young people. They're not new audience. So, ranting, the streaming is making it harder to funnel people into that machine. Okay? Streaming makes it harder to funnel people into your machine. Okay? Mandalorian and Grogu is a TV show. Let's just say this came out, say, mid 2000s, something like that. It doesn't matter what I mean by it. It doesn't even have to be Star Wars. Okay, let's put it that like, let's say Mandalorian or is a cowboy western, whatever. And it came out then, and then they finally had a movie. The equivalent, I would say, of this movie is a TV movie. It really was, or straight to video. I think is what the outline of this movie felt like. Is that it's a show with a big plot overall, whereas this didn't have a big overall plot. This was more getting, again, like in some episodes of The Mandalorian, a side quest. Not to rip on my own name for my podcast. And like, I know I'm doing this on a Friday. No, I'm not going to be streaming next Friday. I'm working next Friday, so sorry. But I should hopefully be streaming next Wednesday. But this is the equivalent of that, I think. It's not bad. I'm not saying it's awful. I said at the very earlier this stream, I said this earlier this stream, I would give this movie a 6 out of 10. Again, it's not, however, it's not big. Didn't seem big screen enough for me. It seemed like the only big screen moments were just the flashy ones, and I get, like, you can't use flashy everywhere in the show because you want to try probably keeping costs down. I know season 3 kind of bumped up the everything when it comes down to flashiness, especially with Moff Gideon at the end there. But that was like a multi-season culmination. This is just one thing, and you added the flashiness. Like, it seemed like something that you should be, like, it seemed like it should be already on Disney Plus. I hate to say that. I really do. That's why I think streaming has ruined the way we can look at movies now. Okay? The movies have been ruined by streaming. And don't get me wrong, I like my streaming. I do it a lot. I watch things, okay? I do go back and rewatch things as well. But you want to know the problem? I rewatch things that I like. Back then, way back when movies were still, I don't know, I can't even say young. They were old at that point. The 90s, 2000s. When VHS came, that was the boost to the sales of movies, okay? Do you remember, like, let's take, for example, Clerks. Today's equivalent for that would essentially be, I want to say today's equivalent, at least in my opinion, is Iron Lung. Completely self-funded. Granted, there's a definite money difference of making and production. It's different times. I'm not going to fault anybody for that, so I'm not saying one's better than the other. What I'm saying is that that's the closest you have to what I mean. So in in Clerks got its following after, I want to say after, or maybe I'm thinking of a different movie. It gets its following after the show. I'm thinking of cult classics. Let's just put it that way. Cult classics. They weren't popular when they came out, but after they came out, people's watched it, and hey, yeah, I do understand this. You just need a little bit of understanding of this said product or movie. That's what makes a cult classic. Where's your cult classic now? When is your last cult classic? That's why I say Iron Lung is probably like the last, or is like that. Okay? You don't have, like, you'll have it's the problem with cult classics. Cult classics are, you can call anything a cult classic. But what makes a cult classic different from a fan base is that it's not just everybody who likes it's not just the fans. You have everybody from many different types. It doesn't matter what political orientation you have, doesn't matter what sex you are, does not matter any of that. That is what makes a cult classic. Okay? Because then you do reach the masses, and the masses do reach back. But you can't do that when you're in the middle ground and you reach to everyone and the masses don't reach back. If you don't do that, it's not gonna help. I'm tired right now. You know, it's 11:36. I definitely am streaming early. Like, I went to bed at 1 and I had to get up for the kids. I went in with low expectations. I was hoping for something more. And then I got a story. I don't think it was awful. Not by no means. It was not a bad movie. I'd say it's 6 out of 10. I've said it many times. 6 out of 10 works. It's a story. But it felt like moving from one place to another. Not with weight on something. Not the cost has something towards someone. I said it before. It's in the trailer. Pedro Pascal loses his helmet in this. There's your weight. It's in the trailer. It really doesn't seem doesn't seem really like the characters had any weight into it besides maybe Grogu, yeah. Grogu, I think, had the most character development, yeah. You'd think there would be more with Rada, even with that. Something! This was our first appearance, like, oh yeah, no, this is where Rada's been. I feel like I could have. I feel like it's broken something in me. This movie. I'm not saying it's bad. It's not saying it's good. Again, we're talking about something that's broken that can be fixed. This is mendable, or if anything, be a pretty trooper. If you understand what I mean with that. I love Star Wars. I haven't finished Maul. I'm going to. I will say I'm halfway through it. I don't want to say it, but it's better than the movie. The Maul show, I've watched halfway of it. It's better than the movie. But maybe I'm just looking for something in that taste. I don't know. I think I was expecting Mando to be more brutal, if you will, but you have kids, so it's the I don't know. I have a son, so I can understand why you don't want to do that, but I also want to show my son to be strong. And I do get that sense with Din in this movie. But I felt like is definitely safe. Definitely safe in this movie. I'm upset because I don't want to say anything negative about Star Wars. But by the way, I do say negative stuff about Star Wars. I don't like The Last Jedi. I thought The Rise of Skywalker was better than that. Okay, fair. That's my opinion. You want another one of my opinions? I'm Republican, and yet I like Star Wars. I made my channel about that. I love the designs of all that, and yet here I am being a Star Wars fan. So if you don't like it, I don't care. I've been a Star Wars fan since before I was Republican. I've been a Star Wars fan after. I don't give a shit. This is me. If I have to bow down to someone like that over what I like and don't like, then that's not me. I don't give a shit. I'm not you. It's not me. I wanted more, and I feel like I've been I don't know. I've been trying to show my daughter what I have, or what I like. Understand me more. I like Star Wars. I think I did this one once. There's that. Oh, what else? I have all this other crap. My daughter's got a Sabine Wren helmet. I've played Qui-Gon. I made a freaking pod racer for my son that year. Turned his stroller into a pod racer for Halloween. I would have been nice to go to a convention looking like that. I'm fairly certain I would have gotten some compliments, because I got compliments during the Halloween. But either way, it didn't matter what I care, like what people from that matters is my beliefs, and they're that. And if my beliefs are like, hey, yeah, by the way, you shouldn't watch this because of your beliefs. Why? There's beliefs, there's things that people believe, and I don't want to be a part of beliefs that I don't agree with. Okay? I just enjoy a good story. And as I've said, the story was just being moved from one to another. And like I said, the closest thing I got to like story, it was like in the middle of the movie with Grogu. And even then, I feel like it could have been fleshed out a little more, especially with the other character. I don't want to say that stuff. I came in with low expectations, hoping that, or maybe I came in with higher expectations. Because maybe I was fooling myself, being like, oh yeah, no, this is gonna be bad, and secretly I thought it was gonna be good. It's not great. When it came down to the story, you needed another. It definitely was walked around, be like, okay, we'll do this, we'll go there, we'll do this, we'll go there. Again, emotional weight. Doesn't have to be galaxy spreading event. It just needs to carry some emotion and believable emotion. Grogu had believable emotion. The Acolyte does not have believable emotion. The Force. the Rise of Skywalker. Oh, let's go with The Last Jedi. Luke, in my opinion, does not have believable emotion, especially just because of the first impression. He could have it. I think he had it maybe later. It wasn't enough to convince me at the beginning. It actually was like, yeah, no. And that's why I kind of feel like is that we had a big old middle finger thrown at us again. I'm not happy about it. I'm really hoping that we can just get to the stories that matter, like things with weight that actually seem believable. That's the big thing, is seem believable. And when you have, I think, the people who kind of make this kind of stuff, I don't know. I used to believe in Filoni. Like, he's made some great stories. I don't want to say that he's bad at telling stories. He's not. But dude, you can do better than that. I mean, do you want, if someone can make a show where clone troopers, which became so freaking popular, of who these clones are, that you made an entire show of just 5 of them that were brand new, and you got people to watch the first season. It's beside the point. You can, like, to start with, in my opinion, the big one was Umbara, was a big one, where you got the weight of these clones. You don't have anybody else. It's just straight clone story. And I get that you got those other ones, but I feel like Umbara was the big one. There was setup to it, and it paid. And it paid, and it paved the way. This movie needed to pave the way. And instead, it was laid out. It was not paved, it was just laid out. They're like, this is the area. You can do it. It's like having an actual walking trail to just a wooded area. Like, oh look, I can walk down that way. I don't know. I'm disappointed. You think with who you saw running it would do it, but boy, I gotta double check this. What is Kathleen Kennedy? What is Kathleen Kennedy's involvement? Wow, someone actually put it out in Star Trek. The Mandalorian. Grogu. Kathleen Kennedy's role includes greenlighting the initial series as president and hands-on producer for television show and hands-on producer. Producer role. Alongside her formal executive duties, she serves as active producer and collaborates with directors and creators Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni on story decisions, casting, and character development. Oh yeah, that didn't catch. I was screaming. I was literally, oh my god, I just read the whole thing this last hour! That's what I just said, what was wrong with the movie. What? She serves as an active producer. She collaborates with directors. I was like, there's no way that Filoni could have, like, something good like that go to that. And creators like Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni on story decisions. Story decisions. The thing I was talking about this last hour. Casting. Thing I was talking about. Well, I might not have said that there was casting. I didn't really talk about that, but I will say character development was the thing I was talking about for the last fucking hour. Oh my god, why did I look that up? Oh my god. This was character guidance. She actively helped define Grogu's on-screen presence. Fine. You made Grogu be cared for. She officially confirmed that despite developing his force powers, he will not speak English with Zion. Okay, so Grogu still doesn't speak, obviously. Okay, great. Oh my goodness. Literally, the things I literally just was talking about this whole last hour, I was just like, okay, now let's go over here and be like, okay, what was Kathleen Kennedy's role? I know she was involved. I didn't know for certain what she was involved. And instead, it looks like everything I was just fucking complaining about. It was literally, I don't know what specifically she had input on, so I can't fault her for that. But these are all areas where she has a hand in. And why? What happened? What happened? Oh my god, I feel like my mind just exploded! God. Oh. 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 God. I don't think you should have creative decisions, Kathleen Kennedy, at all. If you have a comment, let me know what you think about Kathleen Kennedy. Because clearly you got my idea of it right there. Because I don't know what the hand that was touched is. What is the role? What is this bullshit? Who put their hand in the cookie jar without washing their hands? That's what I want to know. Who's the idiot? Because right now we have a 2 out of 3 situation and the third person currently is out the door. But here's the fear. What if it's more than one person? Of being like, oh yeah, no, let's agree with that. Let's agree with the bad idea. Was it, oh, that's a bad idea, and she agreed with it and approved it? Or is it, she had an idea, we had some suggestions, well, let's work around that. Let's get this, let's definitely get this in here. Let's get these guys, or let's not. Let's work with that. Maybe there's something along those lines. It's always gray between the lines. It's always a touch of gray. Okay? So I always think it's always something in between the most extremes. It's never going to be anything absolute. There's going to be some variation. Okay? But what? Who compromised? Who? Because right now it's all of them are at fault. This is definitely everybody's at fault here. You approved it. Somebody approved it. Somebody else approved it. And if what is Jon Favreau's role and Dave Filoni role in the movie not acting in parentheses? Director Favreau, or Jon Favreau, is the main director. Okay. I can see that. I didn't complain about what the direction of it was. I did complain about things. Lead writer, okay. Primary screenwriter, crafting the story's core plot. Regarding the remnants of the Galactic Empire. So, what? So now we're getting more into this now. So now we're diving deeper into this. Okay. Let's see. I'm actually gonna we're gonna be doing some let's see. Hold on. Display, nope. Computer game capture, nope. Nope, that's display sound. Web window. Ah. And bam. And transition. Ta-da.